afternoon on the East Coast. Good evening in the UK, because I know we have some viewers. Um, good morning in the West Coast, and then wherever else you're watching, let me know. I'm Anthony Cirillo. I am the creator of Sage Stream, the live, interactive senior entertainment network. The only one of its kind as far as I know, and I've been at this for 2 years developing this. Few are doing entertainment. None are doing interactive, where you can communicate with me and to our artists and let us know what's going on out in the world. Like today, I already know, and I know one of our artists will be our second comedian today, has some roots in this area. But we'll start out with a shout out to Atrium Senior Living in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Allentown. I've actually entertained in Allentown several different times when I lived in Philly. We have a mountain house up in the past the Poconos. People know the Poconos. Way up past Scranton and Wilkes-Barre near the New York border. And on my way back and forth to there, sometimes I would go and entertain in some of the assisted living and other communities in Allentown. I have a couple really good friends from up there, activity directors I used to work with, etc. So shout out. Not sure if my Gracious Living Adult Daycare Center is on or not, but shout out to them. So if anybody's on, just let us know in the chat function, and we will acknowledge you, either me or our guest artists. So this is our third week of the 16-week Sage Stream bundle. I kicked it off on Valentine's Day. We had Nick DiMatteo last week, came out of his comfort zone and went from his rock roots to doing some great standards on piano, and I didn't realize what a melodic voice he had. So we're switching up gears totally today. By having a couple comedians, and I'll let you know a little bit later who we're having next week. So I'm going to throw my headphones on. Wait a minute. I got one more shout out before I do that. See, I keep my phone handy because I'm texting with one of my activity folks. We got to wait because they're not quite on yet. We will wait, but we got a birthday to acknowledge in a little bit, maybe in between artists. So let's. There we go. So that applause means they cannot see it. I can see them. We now have a 3-shot on the screen, and I have Tom Padovano. Tom has been with me almost since the beginning. He's been a great supporter of Sage Stream, and one of our new additions, Nanciann Horvath. So hi, guys.
Hello.
All righty.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Hello. So how this is going to work is because Tom was the first to ring into my green room, he gets to go first because I assigned him as guest one. And he's going to hear applause when I change the scene. That's his cue to get started. I'll be listening, Tom. I don't know what your last joke is. Don't give it away. But I'll figure out when to come back and talk, and we'll have some maybe a shout out or so for the Atrium folks. So with that, well, you know what? I'm going to be talking to Nanciann separately. So Tom, maybe I could just talk. Let's talk to Tom for a second. Nothing against Nanciann here, but we have Tom. Why don't you tell the folks a little bit about yourself and your background, and especially who you've interacted with over the years.
Okay, I've been a comedian and a comedy writer since the 80s. I mainly sold jokes to other comedians like Rodney Dangerfield, Joan Rivers, Diller, Tom Dreesen, but I've never made it in the business. Professional speakers, politicians. I've done a lot of that. And I've been performing since the 80s off and more often now at various comedy clubs, on ships, private gigs, weddings, wherever they take me, I'm listening.
A true entertainer. So, Tom, I'm going to just ask you to maybe, while you're doing your set, is to Well, but let's. You're having an echo issue, so I don't want to disappoint our listeners and viewers. So I'm not sure if lowering the volume um, on your computer on that end will in any way impact the volume that you're coming through. When you're ready, just give me another little test. And meantime, Nancy, I want to while Tom's gone back and forth there, why don't you give us a quick who are you?
Hi, who am I? I'm Nancy Ann Horvath. I grew up in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Then I moved to Morristown, New Jersey, then New York City, then LA. I'm a nurse, I'm an actor, I'm a comic, I'm a speaker, I'm a mom. I do a lot of crazy things. I'm now freezing in South Orange County. Yes, we've had snow, and I'm restrained myself from wearing 5 layers today, but I do have 2 heaters down here. So I know Bethlehem had some snow yesterday, but it's all relative. So
Oh
I'm
darn!
thrilled to be here. Thank you very much.
All right, Tom. Let me hear you speak a little bit, Tom.
Okay, my name is Tom Padovano. Test, test.
All right, I think you're a little better. We're going to go with that.
Okay.
In the meantime, since we were talking, we're broadcasting to um, a Vimeo embedded player that some of our people are watching on. We're broadcasting on the Sage Stream private Facebook page, and we're also shout out to the National Association of Activity Professionals. They've been a great supporter from the first day. And so I have two shout outs Carl Gibbs, hello, and Maria. Oh, don't let me butcher your name. Hello, Maria Villanueva from the reserve at, hold on, Braeswood. You could tell my monitor's like over here. Braeswood in Houston, Texas. All right,
Wow.
we've done our shout outs. We'll see who else comes on, and we'll shout out to them. We have a birthday in between your sets. So, Tom, you're going to hear a little applause. And again, the stage will be yours. If I need to talk to you, just watch the chat just in case we're having any audio. And to all of our folks, this is Sage Stream's initial launch. We call it a soft launch. It's soft because things can happen, like sometimes the feed will drop. It hasn't happened a lot, maybe 3 times in 2.5 years. However, the internet gods, you never know. So if it happens, don't go anywhere. And same with our artists, I've asked them to just re-sign in. I'm not trying to predict something bad today. It hasn't happened yet. So, Tom, you're going to hear some applause, and then take it away, my friend.
All right. Thank you. Hey, I love performing comedy, but I have had a lot of jobs and crazy bosses. Had this one. If I made a mistake, she'd say, Tom, look at the mistake you made. But if she made a mistake, oh, Tom, look at the mistake we made. So I said, well, boss, look at the ugly dress we're wearing. I got fired. Oh, I had this other job, a real tough boss, a real Mama Luke, a Gavone, a Chooch, as they'd say in New York. I mean, every day he'd say, so, working hard or hardly working? I grabbed his neck, squeezed it, and said, well, boss, breathing hard or hardly breathing? I got fired. Oh, I got fired from another job. I was the cruise director on the Staten Island ferry, you know, but they fired me on my first day when I pulled into port in Boston. All right, I was a little off. It was my first day. Oh, I had this other boss. Now, every day I'd get to work on time. 9 o'clock, I'd be at my desk and I'd start working. Well, one day I walked in at 10. My hair was messed up. My face was bruised and bloodied. My clothes were ripped. The boss said, what happened to you? I said, I fell down a flight of stairs. He said, that took an hour? This is terrible. Now, I hate looking for a job. I went on this interview. They said, Tom, this job pays 1,000 a week, but in 6 months, it goes to 2,000 a week. I said, great. I'll come back in 6 months. And I come from a poor but loving family. Every night, my mother had food on the table. I wish we had plates. Uh, Now, I remember when I was 7, I said, Mom, am I adopted? Oh, Tom, not yet, but I'm working on it. She meant well. Then I remember once saying, Mommy, I wanted a toy truck for my birthday. I didn't get one. I'm upset. She goes, but Tommy, you just turned 50. I still wanted it. Oh, and I remember when we were poor, when I would get a hole in my shoe, my father would put a piece of cardboard in there. And on that cardboard, he would write Dr. Scholl's. Isn't that nice? And I remember my father building me a treehouse when I turned 45. And he said, move out of my basement. He wanted me to get fresh air. Isn't that nice of him? Though I think my parents were a little embarrassed by me. I did not do well in school, but I had tough teachers. Like in gym class, when we played dodgeball, the teacher drove the dodge. Ah, and I wasn't the class clown. I was the class idiot, always getting left back. Do you know any other kid in 3rd grade excused for jury duty? Ah, it was so embarrassing. My teacher made my parents write on the blackboard 100 times, we won't have more kids. Now, I hated school, but my neighbor was worse. Every day his mother would say, Johnny, get up and go to school. But Johnny said, but Mommy, I don't want to go to school. Why not, Johnny? The kids hate me. The teachers hate me. Mommy, I don't want to go to school. She goes, listen, you're 47 and the principal. Go to school. You got to go to school if you're the principal. I was terrible in shop class. Oh, really bad. Like I made an ashtray out of balsam wood. Oh, did that thing go up in flames? You know, Smokey the Bear slapped me around. It's terrible. And I'm not seeing my girlfriend anymore. She said I wasn't romantic enough. But come on Valentine's Day, I got her a balloon bouquet. But she was upset because the balloons weren't inflated. I said, listen, the Air Force shot it down. They thought it was spy balloons. Yeah, I even took took her to this place that she wanted to go. Well, she should have wanted to go. She wanted to go whale watching. Instead, I took her snail watching because she said she wanted to take things slow, right? That makes sense. Oh, she wanted to go to a candlelight dinner. I took her. She got mad at me because we got thrown out of the restaurant. I did not know you were not allowed to light candles in McDonald's. But now I know why you can't. Oh my God. Is Ronald McDonald's outfit flammable? Did that clown go up in smoke? Ah, then she wanted me to take her to a restaurant that had a fireplace. And I took her. And she got mad because I was roasting marshmallows. I mean, come on, there's a fireplace here. What are you supposed to do? Oh, she says that I'm not romantic. She sent me a card. It said, roses are red, violets are blue. I'll be so happy we'll stop dating you. Now, last year I did send her a card. It said, to my girlfriend, my true love, or current occupant. She didn't like that. Very fussy. So now I'm trying to meet somebody new. I'm not good at it. I went to this club. Hey, babe, what's your sign? Keep off! Oh, I was talking to this woman. She said she wants to date 10 men at the same time. I said, I'm not into that. I'm monotonous. Then this other woman said she wants to date a man comfortable in his own skin. I said, forget me. I have psoriasis. Then she was itching to leave. Um, I was talking to this really classy woman, and she said to me, my last name's hyphenated. I said, mine's Padovano. She walked away too. It's not easy out there. I'm starting to get desperate. I go to Kentucky Fried Chicken just to hear them say breast or thighs. I put Vicks Vapor Rub on my body to meet women with asthma. Oh, it's not easy. But I do remember my first love. And I remember saying to her, oh, Hortense, I'm not as smart as Johnny. I'm not as handsome as Johnny. And I don't make as much money as Johnny. But Hortense, I will love you forever. And she said, oh, Tom, that is so sweet. But tell me more about Johnny. Oh goodness, it's not easy out there. I'm not sure. The other day, I'm not sure if this woman said I was a breath of fresh air or needed a breath freshener. Oh, it's not easy, I'm telling you. But now I'm on the Elvis Presley dating app. Love Me Tinder. Yeah, Love Me Tinder. And as soon as I joined, they said, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that was interesting. Now, my best friend is single and Jewish. He's on J date. I'm single and Italian. I'm on A date. Hey! Oh, I went to this wedding. Half Italian, half Jewish. Everything was done 50-50. Like they made the men wear yarmulkes, on the yarmulkes, an ad for Vito's Pizza. And at a Jewish ceremony, they have the groom step on a glass. Here, the groom was Italian. He slapped it. Oh, it was amazing. And it was my uncle Dulio that got married. He's from Brooklyn. He made up his own wedding vows. Yo, bride, I wrote this for you. Today we got married. What a beautiful thing. And I spent $30 on your stupid wedding ring. But now you is my bride. And yo, you look so pretty. But hey, you're still upset because the honeymoon's in Jersey City? What a guy. Oh, I had a lot of relatives at the wedding, like my Uncle Chooch. Yeah, my Uncle Chooch. He's always in a bad mood, but not that day, because after 18 years, he got his birthday wish. Parole. Yeah. He was arrested for breaking and entering. He broke Carmine's nose and entered it with his fist. Yeah, a real tough guy, I'm telling you. Like last Christmas time, I went to his house. All of a sudden, he sings, I'll be home for Christmas. So my Aunt Angie looks at him and sings, yes, you'll be home for Christmas, 'cause you're under house arrest. Oh, God, everybody got upset. And you know what? For Christmas, he got me a really interesting gift. Cordless headphones after he cut the cord. 2 years ago, he gave me a headless bobblehead. What a guy. And he has such a nice wife, really. And a few months ago, Chucha was in the hospital. His wife visits him. And he goes, yo, bride, you were there for me when I was abusing alcohol. You were there for me when I was a drug addict. And look at this. You're here for me again. So I've been thinking, you're a jinx. What a terrible thing to say to the woman, you know what? And I try to help him, you know. I took him to the doctor, even went in the office with him. So we're walking out, and he says, Yo, Tom, did the doctor say I have ADHD? I wasn't listening. Oh, goodness. Oh, I got a lot of crazy relatives. My Uncle Laudo was at the wedding. Uncle Laudo. Now, every July 4th, I go to his house. He can't afford fireworks. So he just stands in the yard and goes, boom, boom. He's 5'4", 300 pounds. Boom. Crazy. Oh, my Aunt Bacabella was at the wedding. 87 years old. She just got her belly button pierced. And hanging from there, she put a big hoop earring. I said, Aunt Bacabella, why did you do that? She goes, well, now when I wash the dishes, that's where I put the washcloth. She also puts a pill box there. Never seen anything like it, you know. And anyhow, I'm at the wedding, and I'm going to admit something. I looked horrible, horrible, because I can't tie a tie to save my life. So this man, I didn't even know, comes up to me and says, would you like me to tie your tie for you? I said, yes, thank you. He said, okay, lay down. So I lay down, and he ties the tie for me. And it looks great. So I said, thank you. But why did you have me lay down? He said, well, I'm an undertaker. Oh, that shook me up. That was scary to me. But let me tell you something. It was a very tough wedding. The flower girl was Rocco. I mean, when they threw the rice, it was still in the box. A very cheap wedding, too. The professional photographer had a disposable camera. Oh, goodness. You know what the worst thing about this wedding to me was? I don't think it's going to work out for the newly married couple, because on top of the wedding cake, they had three figures. Three! The bride, the groom, and the bride's attorney. That doesn't look good. At this point in my life, I don't know if I'm going to get married. For a while, though, I was dating this much younger motorcycle babe. Yeah, but we had nothing in common. She Harley, I could hardly hear. She asked me if I owned a Yamaha. I said yes. I wear one to Jewish weddings. It says Vito's Pizza on it. I don't know. And it's tough getting old. Now I have hair growing out of my ears. And what makes it worse, it has dandruff. Do you know what it's like to shampoo with Head and Shoulders and ears? It's not good. Oh, I tell you, I don't know. I'm just not the same anymore. The other day, I could not find my car keys. I was driving. Oh, it's terrible. I'm afraid to go in the Museum of Natural History. I have this fear they're gonna build a glass case around me. Um, Now, I'm a nervous person. Maybe you could tell. So what I do to relax is I sit by my front window and look outside for hours and do absolutely nothing, which really upsets the drivers behind me. Oh, they're beeping their horn. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I mean, it's not easy getting older. And I will say this, though. There are people older than me. In matter of fact, did you know that Bugs Bunny is 80? Bugs Bunny is 80. Now when he says, what's up, Doc? It's his cholesterol. Porky Pig is 77 when he says, that's all, folks. It might be. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of pigs, my apartment is a pigsty. Disgusting. And I ran out of Raid. So I sprayed a cockroach with lemon pledge. It died, but had a great, shiny finish. Yeah, exciting. I don't want to feel like I'm finished. I don't feel so good lately. So I changed health plans. I used to be with Blue Cross. Now I'm with International House of Physicians. IHOP. Yeah. I mean, I love their slogan. If we can't cure you, relax. We will pay for the funeral. It made me feel so great. And they assigned me this doctor, Dr. Julio Alejandro Bernstein. Ah, this man's amazing. He taught me things I never knew, like how to approach an attractive woman in a restaurant without fear of rejection by using the Heimlich maneuver. Yeah. And he did get mad at me because I said, doctor, it hurts me when I touch here. Hurts me when I touch here. Hurts me when I touch here. He goes, idiot, you got a broken finger. Who would have figured? I don't know. But then he sent me to the Vincent Van Gogh Mental Health Center and Ear Clinic. Yeah, but I like it there because they have entertainers coming. Like once they had this hypnotist. He got 5 of us on stage. We were cackling like chickens, barking like dogs. Then he hypnotized us. Wasn't the same. Oh, one night they showed us the movie, The Night of the Living Dead. We loved it. Come on. Who could resist a good musical? We all got up and danced. Yeah, all right, maybe we do have issues. But I even said to my doctor, hey, what do you do when you don't feel good? He goes, well, I go over to my girlfriend's apartment. I hug her. I kiss her. And before you know it, I feel better. I said, is she there now? Now he's my ex-doctor. Oh, but I remember this one time. My brother was really sick. So I rushed him to the doctor. They took him right in. And I'm waiting in the waiting room. So from the other side, I hear the doctor say, pliers, screwdriver, hammer. And now I'm getting really nervous. I said, doctor, what's wrong with my brother? He goes, I don't know. We're trying to open the medicine cabinet. Oh, goodness. Like I said, I'm a nervous person. Sometimes I have trouble sleeping, have insomnia. So what I'll do is I'll count sheep. But if that doesn't work, I'll capture one and knit a sweater. That gets me tired. Yeah. But what's important? Having a good doctor. I feel sorry for my neighbor. Her doctor said, Mrs. Sicko, you only have 10 to live. She goes, what do you mean? 10 years? 10 months? He said 10, 9, 8, 7. Oh, that's not nice, you know. But let's face it, if you want good things to happen, you got to do your part, right? You got to do your part. It's like my Uncle Luigi. Every Sunday, we go to church together. Every Sunday, he prays the same prayer. Oh God, please let me win the lottery. Oh God, please let me win the lottery. So the sky gets dark and a voice comes from the sky and says, you want to win the lottery? Do me a favor. Buy a ticket. You gotta be in it to win it. Well, I went to my dentist and he said, Tom, this doesn't look good. That was before I opened my mouth. He called me in for a cleaning. I got there. He handed me a mop and a bucket. Terrible. But the amazing thing, this dentist is so popular. To get an appointment with him is like pulling teeth. It's absolutely amazing. Now, some of you people might be looking at me and recognize me from the movies. Yeah, I sit in the back near the bathroom. I have a sensitive stomach. Oh, and I saw a sign in the bathroom. It said, "Do not throw paper towels into toilet." I would never do that. Never would throw paper towels into the toilet. I placed them in gently. I'm a nice guy that way. But I hate when I go to the movies, reach under the seat and find gum. It's always sugarless and tastes terrible. Oh, goodness gracious. Maybe someday they'll make a movie out of one of my books. That would be exciting. Yeah, I write books. Yeah, I'm going to give you some of the titles of them. Maybe if I come time, whatever, I can mail you some. One of the books is called "She Fell in Love with a Painter, but He Gave Her the Brush." Another one's called "The Ball Is in Your Court. Give me back my ball." Oh, here's another one for very lonely people called "If You Won't Kiss Me, I Will." And I have. Yeah. And I'm only like 5'8" and like 135 pounds. So anytime a woman looks at me, she thinks the same thing. I can beat him up. Yeah, okay. Maybe you could beat me up, but I could scream hysterically and run away at the same time. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. But let me tell you something. I was talking about my craziness before. There's my Uncle Blotto. He's 85 years old, obese, has no hair, and he's broke. He recently went to a matchmaker, a professional matchmaker, and he said, "Please find me a woman that I can marry." She goes, "Okay, what are you looking for in a woman?" He said, "She has to be young, rich, and beautiful." The woman said, "I got just the woman for you." She's 23 years old, a beauty pageant winner, and a millionaire. Here's the problem. 1 week out of the year, she goes nuts. She doesn't crazy things. She just goes berserk, just does things that don't make any sense. So my uncle goes, "Well, 1 week out of 52, she does that. I can handle that." So my uncle goes, "So when can I meet this woman?" And the matchmaker said, "The week that she goes nuts." Makes sense, right? Oh, then there's my Uncle Doomba, employed. He saw an ad in the newspaper. It said, "Gorilla Wanted." So he goes over there and they said, "Do you own a gorilla?" He goes, "No, but I have a gorilla outfit. What I'll do is I'll dress up as a gorilla. I'll go in the cage. I'll eat a banana. Nobody will know the difference." They said, "Okay, you're hired." So his first day, he's in the cage. He's dressed up as a gorilla. He's eating a banana. He's swinging from a tire. Then he goes and climbs up a tree. The tree branch breaks and he falls into the lion's den. And the lion is rushing over to him. So my uncle panics and he starts screaming, "Get me out of here! Get me out of here! I'm not really an ape." So the lion jumps on him and says, "Would you shut up? You're going to blow this gig for both of us." Oh boy, oh boy. It's amazing what goes on
Hey, Tom,
with the relative.
my
Yeah,
friend. I'm
yeah,
going to stop you for a second because I got to get my Nanciann on here. She's waiting patiently in the wings. So,
no problem.
do you have one final joke you could tell me?
All right. Oh yeah, my uncle this past summer he said to me, "Tom, do you want to see Shakespeare in the park?" I said, "Ha! You can't fool me." Shakespeare's dead.
But all right, Tom. All I'm going to say is you have bad medical care, and you probably need mental health counseling from um, from your upbringing. But I, I like the balloon being shot. I mean, that you talk about topical. There you go.
There you go.
All right. So you stay tuned. I'm just going to bring you back at the end to say goodbye. But now I'm going to bring on. There you go. Hello, Nancy Ann Horvath. How are you? Up.
I am doing fine. Thank you very much for having me, especially in Allentown today. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, I want to start with Red Nose Day because Red Nose Day is coming up on March 19th. And did you know Red Nose Day was started for comic relief? Yay! There we go. So, comic relief is people in the medical business having comedy and it keeps you healthy. So that's what I'm all about because I am actually a real nurse and all your health starts up in your head and goes down to your toes. Sometimes I actually bring my toes on stage. Don't worry, I won't do that today. So, what I want to tell you people is that we're talking about health, and I know Tom talked a little bit about that. I'm going to give you guys your first medical check out on Zoom. And don't worry, you won't have to pay me. I know a lot of the doctors are doing medical procedures even on Zoom. So this is how it works. When I'm on stage, see, I put my real gloves on. And now I'm going to ask you in the audience, when I say three, clap 2 times. So we'll do it all together. Remember, I say three, you clap 2 times. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, I could hear it. You did so good. Then I take off my gloves, I throw them in the audience, and I say, I deem you healthy because your health starts up here and it goes all the way down. So I'm going to tell you some medical faux pas that actually happened. I have a cousin that worked in the OR, and the doctor walks in and says, why does this say baloney amputation? She goes, Doctor, it actually says below the knee amputation. Yep, you got to be careful. And this happened to me. I was working at UCLA, big hospital, and I said to the doctor, the lady can't chew. I think she needs a puree diet. Now, we all know puree means mush, mush, mash, mash. It's good when you don't have a lot of teeth. And he writes PUREEGG. I'm like, no, that's not what I said. And besides, her cholesterol is high. So the other thing I got to remind people about when it gets real hot, which it's not today, and you have to keep your electrolytes up and you have to drink water and Gatorade, it doesn't mean you go to Disneyland or Disney World and look at those electric lights because that's not going to help your electrolytes, people. That's right. So I'm one of those crazy nurses, and somehow I got two really good boys. I don't know how that happened. But I think my theory is the good kids have to go somewhere, so they go to a loony mom. So my older son was going to a party and the girl was turning 16. And you know how boys are, they don't look. So I sent him with a card and had some gift cards in. He got home, he goes, oh, I was so embarrassed. She opened the card and all the gift cards went flying. I go, I know, that was a darn good gift. He goes, Mom, come on. Target 2.99, Starbucks 3.50. I even put a Borders card in there. Yep, it still had 3.50 on. Okay, technicality, Borders closed, but maybe she could find some use for it. So anyway, all the gift cards, there was probably like 15 of them. They added up to $16 and the girl turned 16. Isn't that a good idea? So, because I grew up in Pennsylvania, I'm super, super thrifty. And my dad would always say, everything has 5 or 6 uses. You know what I'm talking about. So I was cleaning the floor the other day with my husband's old socks. And he's like, I haven't seen those in a while. I go, I know, they're in the bottom of your drawer. And they have holes in. And I'm wiping the floor. And he goes, where'd the water come from? I go, honey, I carry it with me. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's water, it's free. The other thing that my favorite 4-letter word starts with an F and it's free. So when my sons were growing up, I would tell them that if we all ran to like the local fast food place, like McDonald's or Burger King, whichever one was closer, it would be really good for our health and we'd lose weight. And that's where we would do our number two and use the toilet paper there. So I hardly ever had to buy toilet paper. The other reason why I never bought toilet paper was our neighbors. Our neighbor kids decorate their tree in two-ply toilet paper. That's what happens here in Orange County. So I would bring my boys outside. I say, come on, we're going to clean the neighbor's trees. And while we're doing it, we're separating it. Who needs two-ply? And we're pulling them apart. And they're like, this is so gross. It has leaves and twigs. And I said, shut up. We're going to use this. This is now organic. So see, you really don't have to buy toilet paper. You guys know that. You can go to McDonald's, use their napkins. I mean, save money. Come on. So going back to the nose thing, did you used to do that trick with your kids, your grandkids? Got the nose. I always wondered, where did those noses end up? Do you think they went to a plastic surgeon's office and he could use them again? Recycle. Maybe they're in a jar. I don't know, but that got me thinking. The other thing is that one of my sons is a veterinarian in Texas. I know somebody's on here from Texas. And I grew up afraid of animals. So I don't know how this happened, but I didn't want to give them my fear. So, but I am the one that kills the things in our house. Just, little things like spiders. And when I lived in New York City, cockroaches. So the other day, this big spider was there. My husband's like, I'm not killing it. And our son wasn't going to kill it. So I was ready to kill it. He goes, Mom, take it out. I'm like, oh, okay. So I took the spider out. We sat down, had a few drinks. I learned that spider was in some pretty cool web designing. Not me, I can't do web things. And then Spider learned some cool facts about me. So next time you're thinking about killing a spider, take it out, have a few drinks. My nose is itching talking about spiders. Oh, another good thing about when my boys were little, I was like the crazy mom. Like if they didn't want to take a bath, I'm like, what can I do? I know I'll turn into Ethel Merman. So I said, there's no business like soap business. Now go take your bath. And that just scared them. They ran and took a bath. Then they got older and they didn't want to shower. And I'm like, okay, we'll bring in some opera. You are stinky and you're crotchy. You must shower today. Don't forget your pits. They're like, Mom, that's weird. So yeah, they showered. So go figure. Our other son lived in China and he speaks Mandarin. I grew up in Pennsylvania. We think Mandarin is a food and it's a fine cuisine. So when he came home, it was Christmas time and I wanted to bond under the tree and sing some of those Chinese Christmas songs. And he's like, Mom, don't go there. That's politically incorrect. But I had to remind our boys that everything under our tree, yep, everything came from China. You know where I'm going on that one. Yep. But not my boys. They're Italian. Well, I'm not really Italian. I'm Slovak Hungarian, and my husband is Irish and German. And yes, my mom grew up in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and she was in the Slovak singing group and sang about the Tatra Mountains. So I traveled all during COVID. I went back to see her. I traveled all over the place. And airlines have gotten so cheap. They charge you for everything. So my friend who sells Tupperware, I don't have them on today, but I'm going to show you. She gave me these two round disc things, and I put them in my top when I travel. And sometimes I'll put fruit in or something. Now, I was traveling recently, so I'm going to open them up and see. Oh, look, there's a chocolate in one of them. So chocolate keeps in them. And now in this one, some of you people will like this. I brought a little bottle of alcohol. So I was traveling and I took these out, and some guy sitting next to me goes, ah, you're from Pennsylvania. I bet you brought another one of those down below with sauerkraut. I said, sir, that would be awfully stinky on the plane. But on a medical note, did you know sauerkraut, kimchi, and pickles are very good for your brain? It's brain food. So next time, leave the Valium at home and just bring sauerkraut or pickles. Pickles are good. You people like those in Allentown. Pickles are very good. It keeps your brain healthy. And I do have a high number. I know Tom talked about getting old. I'm not getting older. My number just gets higher because I want to live to be 100. Almost there. Woo, getting close. I don't believe in the word old. So I just say, I have a freaking high number. So I'm going to go back to when I was traveling all during COVID. I traveled when the planes were empty. I traveled with mask, without mask. And I went back to see my mom because she was getting physical therapy at home. And she was so excited. She says, I have my own physical therapist. He's this cute little guy. And I got to meet him. He really was. And she got all excited and told me about how she started to do the steps and she put one foot and the other foot. And she was telling me all this. And then she said, do you want to know what happened next? And I said, Mom, you probably put the other foot up and the other foot up. And she went, oh my gosh, how do you know that? So, well, I kind of remember when you taught me to walk maybe 100 years ago or 70 or 60, whatever the number was. But it's kind of neat because as we get older, as our number gets higher, we remember little things from our childhood. And I just think that's so special. Like, I grew up with a bunch of uncles. And when I talk too fast in my shows, I tell the people to put their hands up like this and say pause. And that's good because I have a son who's a vet and we can pause and have a drink. But I may just do one of these things. Yes, I'm the only barking comic out there. Now, the scary thing is, I've done that on stage, and some dogs come near me, and I'm afraid of dogs, but I'm learning. I just kind of push them back, and okay, doggy. So, our son, the vet, he sent me to the pet store for this special food for our dachshund. Now, dachshunds have to eat all kinds of special things, and I took a picture, I wrote it down. I was so sure that this is what I was going to get. But I got there, and guess what happened? Instead of a white dog being on the cover, it was a little black dog. I was like, oh, this isn't good. So I called a meeting in aisle 5, and we had about 10 people that came to my spur of the moment meeting. Worked out well. And I said, so what happened? Why did the dogs get switched? And is it the same food? And they assured me, they said, it's the same food. I said, well, how would I know? And they said, look, it's the same ingredients. And I wanted to know the backstory. Like the dog that was on the first cover, did he die? Is he getting residuals? As an actor, I do get residuals. So anyway, they assured me it was the same. I brought it home, and Chris said, Mom, it's okay. You did good. Whew, dodged that bullet. I mean, it was really scary. So yeah, my uncle Geza Horvath in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, he's the one that taught me how to bark. So some people are going like this, slow down, girl. Let's have a drink and let's pause again. I'll drink to that and I'll even bark to that. Yep, that's the way it goes. So I also want to tell you there's been a lot of porch theft lately. I don't know if you're having that out there, but we got a ring doorbell because our son said you got to get a ring doorbell. So now I could see the people that walk by with their dogs and I could see the mailman, but it got me thinking, like, how do people steal porches? I mean, our porch is pretty solid, but I don't know. I heard there's porch theft out there, so that one's kind of scary. I'm going to go back to my free stuff. So I realized that news people, we live in Los Angeles, Orange County, they get a lot of free stuff. So I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to drive into a fast food place, talk like a news person, and let's see if it works. So I drive in and I said, I would like 2 fish tacos, and the fish must be absolutely dead. And the kid just gave it to me. He goes, here, quick, go. I'm like, oh, thank you. That worked well. So where else can I do this? Oh, I know. I walked into a TJ Maxx and I said to the woman, I would like a purse. It must look like leather, but no animals must be harmed. And it should be about the color of yours. And she goes, here, take it. So I go out to my car. I kid you not. It had lipstick, wallet, keys, lipstick. Good thing I like the color. Free lipstick. So you too can try it and it works well. The other thing is like these news people, they talk staccato and so fast. The other day I was watching the news and some man said, there is a fire and the fire is coming down the hill. I'm like, yeah, that's what happens. And then there's a reporter and she's out in the ocean, almost getting wet. And she goes, here comes the whale and the whale is coming in. I'm thinking that's where the whales would come. They're not going to come in your bathroom, people. Although I heard in Florida you guys get alligators. Aren't you lucky? I don't know. That's on my list. Maybe I'll move to Florida someday. But right now, I do like California. I have one son in Texas who's a veterinarian, and one son in Northern California who speaks Mandarin. I don't speak Mandarin, but I do love the cuisine. I gotta say. Oh, this is my other thing I have to tell you about. It's going to come up again. There's going to be lots of people running for president. Lots of them. Remember when Bernie was running? Well, I heard that Bernie and Oprah were coming up with a deal. And you know how Oprah likes to give away things, free this, free this. Well, Bernie went on. He says, I'm going to give colonoscopies for everybody. You get a colonoscopy. You get a colonoscopy. You get a colonoscopy. That would have been pretty cool. I don't know. Would we have voted for Bernie just to get a free colonoscopy? It's something to think about. So, yeah, we all need to stay on top of that and get your colonoscopy, and it's probably free because, I just turned that special age. I'm still learning how all the healthcare stuff works. It's kind of odd. So this happened at a local church. The pastor said, you know, it's beer and wine and alcohol is not important to me. So if I had all the beer in the world, I would throw it in the river. And the people go, amen. They like that. He said, if I had all the wine, I would throw it into the river. And they said, amen. Then he got into the heavy whiskey. And if I had all the whiskey in the world, the pastor said, I would throw it into the river. And then there was a pause, and the choir director said, we are going to sing Down by the River. What's the name of that song? I gotta look it up. What's the name of that song about the river? Oh, shall we go into the river? And all the people left early and also said, amen. And this happened once at a bar where a friend of mine was working, that the guy drank the drink so fast and then he started chewing on the glass. He went, that is odd. So he wasn't going to give him any more, but the guy said, I'm going to pay double. So he gave him another martini and he, did the same thing and he ate the whole glass. And my friend called in his friend, who's a psychiatrist, and said, what do you think is wrong with this guy? He said, well, I think he has problems because he did not eat the stem of the glass. And that's the best part. So I'm going to end here and tell you guys that I just think life should be fun. And every day there's little faux pas out there. So look for those moments where somebody maybe says something funny and go up to them and pat them on the back and say, that was really a nice one. Because I think acknowledging people and saying, how you doing, and talk to them. I traveled a lot. I told you that. And I love to do this. I walk into the bathrooms where the ladies are cleaning up, and that's a hard job. And I clap really big, and they jump a little. And I said, thank you so much for coming to work today. I drink a lot of coffee, water, tea, juice, beer. I like my beer. And I thanked him, and she like cried. I had some lady cry on my shoulder once. So I just think it's really important to talk to strangers, get out there, enjoy your moments. And for my son who speaks Mandarin, he taught me this Zaijian. That means goodbye. So I don't know. Are we
Oh,
going to sing happy birthday?
there we are. Now I have both
We
of you
want to.
back. I don't know why I lost your audio when I tried to do our two shot. Maybe, oh yeah, I don't know where you went.
Do we want to sing happy birthday?
Yes, we do. I'm just figuring
Okay.
out a technical difficulty there.
I wasn't sure if I was still on. Sorry.
Oh yeah, you're on. Tom's on. We're all on, and we got Jane at the atrium of Allentown. Uh, hopefully they're still watching. So yeah, why don't we? Anytime we're ready. Ready? Happy
Who is the
birthday.
birthday person?
What? I'm sorry.
What's her name? Who's the birthday
Jane.
person? Oh, good.
Jane.
Jane J.
We don't ask. We don't ask for ages, of course.
No, no, that doesn't.
Especially after you two got done with the medical profession. Jeez, poor Porky Pig. Poor Porky. That's all, folks. I like that one.
That's
Tom.
all, folks.
I'm gonna use that. All right, we need a happy birthday to Jane. So here we go. Happy birthday,
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
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 you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to you.
you. Happy
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 birthday, dear Jane.
birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to you.
you.
And many more.
All right, we had triple delays on that one. That was kind of funny.
That
Well, guys.
I,
birthday.
that was crazy.
All
I
right,
heard
well,
that.
that's what's called live. So these things happen. But I will catch up with the both of you soon. And in the meantime, I thank you for your performances. And I have some housekeeping to do and to wrap up week three's performances. And so we'll get in touch and talk a bit later. So thank you very much. And I'll do the housekeeping now. You guys could sign off.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All righty. Okie dokie. So next week on Sage Stream, we have Leah Miller, and she's going to be doing painting with watercolors. You don't necessarily have to have a paintbrush in hand. This is more for your enjoyment to see how and watch how she creates. It's pretty fascinating. So we hope you'll tune in then. And then we also have the next week, we have my UK singer. He helped us out, as Nanciann did, for our holiday program in December. And so Alan Mann, he'll be live from the UK. So we thank the folks who came on from the National Association of Activity Professionals, Maria Villanueva and Carl, and anybody who was on the of course, the Atrium folks and Sage Stream, which gets me to the next point. So because we are sort of in this, soft launch phase, it's really important for us to get feedback on all our programs. So on the lower left here, there is a QR code for a survey. And especially if you're from a community like Maria or my friend Christabel in Allentown, it would be nice if you can scan that and fill out the survey because it's important to show other people that we're trying to sell this to what's going on. And by the way, we still have, so this was week 3, right? So we still have 13 weeks of performances left. And so that is cool. And so if you know somebody, so if you're on the National Association of Activity Professionals, but you know somebody who doesn't have access to that platform, perhaps you want to gift it to a caregiver or an adult day center or an assisted living, whoever, somebody who might enjoy it, we welcome you to do that. Same thing with my Sage Stream viewers. If you're watching and you're my folks on Vimeo, just to keep that in mind. But next week, like I said, we got Leah Miller. And so let's see. It's 2:57. I think it's close enough. So we will bid adieu, and we'll see you next week with Leah Miller in the morning this time, 10 a.m. on next Tuesday. Man, it's March already. Before you know it, we'll be changing the clocks. Oh, and Siri's trying to talk to me in the middle of that. All right, folks, you have a good week, and we will see you next week with Leah.